For the second day in a row in Paris, the Louvre is closed, with museum staff trying to figure out how to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus known as Covid-19. And it's not the only tourist hotspot that's been impacted. Important landmarks like the Colosseum and the Spanish Steps in Rome, and even the Vatican, where there are usually massive crowds of people, are now eerily empty, and a lot of the people you'll see there are wearing masks.
At a time where many people are a little bit worried about gathering in large crowds for fear of spreading the virus, the numbers here seem a lot lighter than usual.
The number of people infected with COVID-19 outside of China is now outpacing the growth in China where the outbreak started.
Well beyond the epicenter in China, from flight cancellations and travel restrictions to warnings of serious economic implications, millions of people are feeling the effects of what's become an international health crisis. At almost every hour, another country confirms new cases.
But even as infections outside of China are going up, the World Health Organization is still optimistic that the virus can be contained. They're also still refusing to call the spread of the virus a pandemic, even though many health experts around the world are saying that that's exactly what it is. Today on the show, we're going to talk about why there's a debate over this, and whether that label even matters. My guest is Dr. Seema Yasmin. She's a former disease detective at the Centers for Disease Control in the U.S., and she's the director of the Stanford Health Communication Initiative at Stanford University. From Global News, I'm Tamara Kendacker, and you're listening to Wait, There's More. Seema, thanks so much for doing this.
Thanks so much for having me.
I wanted to get your thoughts on the narrative that's been created around the coronavirus, because it seems like there's a range of reactions to the virus right now. Some people are really freaked out about it.
The world reacting and worrying about the spread of COVID-19.
This is a reality check for every government on the planet. Wake up, get ready.
Some people aren't. We're hearing both, that we need to be stockpiling food and supplies because this is going to get really bad. But then also some governments are downplaying how bad things are.
On Wednesday, the president contradicted his own experts and proclaimed the U.S. would soon have almost no cases of the virus.
We're going to be pretty soon at only 5 people. And we could be at just 1 or 2 people over the next short period of time.
What are your thoughts on how good of a job the media and health authorities are doing to provide a coherent message on this to the public?
The messages are not coherent. I think the narrative is confusing and perplexing for a lot of people who are mostly trying to make sense of, well, what does this mean for my everyday life? What does it mean for my kids and going to school and the conference I have next month? I think that there are different health authorities and different officials across the world saying different things. Partly it makes sense because in a given country, the epidemic dynamics can be different. For example, the travel advice and health advice in Italy and Iran could be quite different from being in the UK or in the US. But overall, I think what's been not so great is that the communication of uncertainty has not been good. And uncertainty is absolutely to be expected in an epidemic. It's just a part of how the disease spreads. You're trying to figure out really quickly what's going on, who's becoming infected, how they're becoming infected. We're at the moment, this really steep learning phase of the curve. Unfortunately, what's happened is officials saying, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. Oh my gosh, worry. Oh my gosh, it's here. Oh, but don't worry, we've got it under control. I think that's what I've seen, especially in the US. I think it ends up being really confusing for people who are trying to then make sense of conflicting messages, not just from officials, but also from experts.
I know the World Health Organization is calling what's happening right now an infodemic.
Yeah, and I was very frustrated with them. I was on CNN yesterday on a media show talking with Brian Seltzer and also with the social media manager for the World Health Organization. And yes, they're calling it an infodemic. That word's been around for a while. And WHO is very late to the table in terms of understanding and appreciating that epidemics are about more than just a pathogen. Epidemics are also about misinformation, deliberate disinformation campaigns, as we saw during Ebola, which run concurrent with the spread of a microbe, actually really fuel the transmission and can hamper public health efforts. question which I direct is it's not enough to protect our public health by just thinking about pathogen. We have to think about the flow and the transmission of misinformation as well.
So let's try and kind of demystify some of what's been happening with people. Let's talk about the most recent developments. There are now nearly 90,000 cases of infections worldwide, and the death toll has now surpassed 3,000. But what does this outbreak look like right now? Can you give me an idea of how far this virus has spread and which parts of the world have been hit the hardest?
So it spread to many parts of the world, more than 50 countries, and that happened just in a matter of weeks. We have seen, though, particularly bad epidemic transmission within Iran.
In Iran, there are reports from hospitals of a huge spike in deaths, more than 200. That's 6 times higher than the official death toll in the Iranian Middle East. In cases in Italy soared about 50% outside of more than 1,700. People need to be worried about the health of Pope Francis, who had to pause to cough times during yesterday's prayers.
In South Korea, for example, South Korea now had the largest outbreak of the novel coronavirus SARS-CoV-2 outside of China.
After a secretive church in South Korea became the center of the nation's coronavirus, essentially knocked out before the nation has given us on Monday.
I live in Northern California, and we saw the first cases of local transmission within the US right here where I live in the Bay Area.
So that's the best.
Now see 2 deaths in the US, both of them in Washington state. So yes, the start was in central China, but it spread as we would expect with something that's a respiratory pathogen. We just haven't been able to get a good handle on containing it, and we're now past that containment phase, in my opinion, and working on trying to slow the spread of these diseases.
Are there any places where we haven't seen a huge number of cases yet that we should be keeping an eye on? I haven't heard too much about South Asia.
I worry about saying, oh, look, it looks like there's not so much transmission in country X, because sometimes you don't see high case count because you're not looking for them. And actually, that's a case in point right here in the US, because we've had delays in London with the dissemination of working test kits.
You have to have a number you're working with in order to make sure that you have adequate supply, things like testing kits, right? So how are we in shortages? You may not want to tell me the number, but you have one in your head.
No, we don't.
And so now that we've seen deaths in Washington state, the researchers who are looking at the virus samples from those people are saying, when we trace it back, it looks like there was what we call cryptic transmission happening possibly in the Washington state area for the last 6 weeks. So that means there's local community transmission happening there. Probably right here in the Bay Area where I live too, because we've had those 2 cases, 2 women who became infected with the disease, did not have any travel history to an affected area or didn't come into contact with anyone known to have COVID-19. So that makes me think, well, it's already here and it's already spreading. We just don't have high case counts to show you because we're not testing for it, and that's a real problem.
Go wash my hands.
Everyone's been asking this question of whether or not this is a pandemic yet. The World Health Organization said last week that the virus has pandemic potential, and they raised the risk assessment to very high, but as of this morning, they're still not willing to declare it a pandemic.
We have shades that people are debating whether this is a pandemic or not. We are monitoring the situation every moment of every day and analyzing the data. I have said it before and I will say it again. WHO will not hesitate to describe this as a pandemic if that's what the evidence suggests.
I know that there are some health experts who are frustrated by that. Can you explain what a pandemic is, first of all?
Yeah, sure, I will, and I will also say that with my epidemiologist hat on, I do think this is a pandemic at this point. And an interesting thing to know about the word pandemic and the definition is the classical epidemiological definition of pandemic gives nothing about disease severity. So although it sounds like a relation to other diseases that I don't think we're at the pandemic phase now. Just because the WHO hasn't declared it one, it's actually not really on them to declare it a pandemic. It is on them to declare it a public health emergency of international concern, which they did do a while ago. And the good thing is that countries aren't necessarily like waiting and saying, well, when WHO declares it's a pandemic, we'll do something different. Australia, I want to say a week or two ago, was already like, we're going to roll out pandemic preparedness plans and treat this like it is one already. And that seems quite sensible.
But I wonder, why haven't they declared a pandemic yet?
We need to see this in perspective. Of the 88,916 cases reported globally so far, 90% are in China, mostly in manufacturers.
Why are they so reluctant to do that?
They actually don't legally, using international law, have to declare it one. It's not like a thing that's on them in the same way that they do have a duty to bring together an emergency committee and pass out the data and say, well, we do think this is an emergency or we don't. They don't have that same duty when it comes to declaring it a pandemic. And I think that's okay, right? I think there are lots of us who maybe are frustrated, but also are looking at it like, well, it doesn't matter if they call it one or not. We're going to treat this like one anyway. But I do think your question raises the point that public health is inherently political, whether you like that or not. And there's often a lot of weight given to the kinds of words you use, like semantics are really important. So even in an outbreak investigation early on, you might want to call something an outbreak or maybe even a cluster and not an epidemic because you want people to be concerned but not be panicked. So that kind of thought process goes into it too.
It's worth noting here, the WHO faced a lot of criticism for the way that it handled the H1N1 swine flu and declaring that pandemic in 2009. Critics blamed the organization for creating unnecessary panic, overwhelming emergency departments, and causing governments to overspend on antiviral medication for the virus that turned out to be a lot milder than expected.
Such a wide geographic spread that I think myself and actually many experts I've spoken to were like, yeah, this looks like a pandemic.
And when a country starts rolling out pandemic preparedness measures, what does that mean for Australia? What do they?
So I think it probably looks different in each country. And one of the good things about these plans are measures that really help hopefully contain the spread of it or maybe slow the spread of disease. It makes you stockpile supplies, make sure that you have enough of the personal protective equipment that you need for healthcare workers. You disseminate plans across different healthcare institutions. Just remember, it's not just the people who become infected with the virus who are affected. There's a trickle-down effect to everyone in many ways, and especially when it comes to the healthcare system. Thinking even back to SARS in 2002, 2003, in the US, for example, if someone was suspected of having SARS and they had to have a chest CT, well then you had to disinfect that CT scanner afterwards, right? And that would take you upwards of 30 to 45 minutes per person. So that means that it has a knock-on effect on a 14-year-old kid who comes through the door who's been in a car accident. It has a knock-on effect on the surgical patient. And so you have pandemic preparedness plans and contingencies to make sure that healthcare systems don't become overwhelmed. We also want to think about some of the negative implications. And I'm thinking back to 2009 with pandemic flu, the H1N1 flu.
The World Health Organization has declared a swine flu pandemic as the disease continues to spread around the world.
Because, for example, Australia back then wasn't really hard hit by the pandemic, but Mexico was. And so Mexico wanted a vaccine. Australia had it, but because of the measures it had instituted, was really restricting movement of goods. And so there was a negative implication to some of that kind of, hunkering down and we're not going to be sending out shipments. It was like, you need to share what you have with Mexico, which really need the vaccine at the time.
We'll be right back.
frequently is our frequently circulating strain of seasonal flu. So I do think that gives us clues as to, well, okay, what happens at the end of the pandemic. Sometimes there's people have been exposed and they develop immunity, so that infection doesn't go away, but it doesn't have the same devastating impact that it did the first time around.
So after a while, it just becomes a regular disease.
Exactly. We saw that with the Zika as well, but it seems like the reason it was devastating in Brazil and South America compared to other countries that were higher previously epidemics in was because it hadn't circulated in South America before. So people hadn't been exposed, they didn't have immunity. And the first time that being exposed to the infection then was really terrible consequences. Same with that 2009 swine flu and the H1N1. It wasn't new, and when you were first exposed, your body mounted really terrible response, bearing in mind that it was a reaction to the virus. It was our body's response, our immune system fighting it, going into overdrive. And that one did become now a commonly circulating flu infection. And some people already say, I don't know whether it's too early to say this, but they're saying, look, more of the currently circulating coronaviruses will also cause cold. We don't worry about those, right? We don't care. Because they call them stuff around this time of year. And they're saying that this COVID-19 is typically, this virus might just become famous on a point that this coronavirus, it might just become something that we've been exposed to, and it's the second time it's circulated, it may not cause as devastating.
What about the seasonal flu? I keep seeing comparisons being made between COVID-19 and seasonal flu, which kills as many as 650,000 people globally every year. So how do those two things compare based on what we know so far?
Yeah, so I mean, it's two different things, right? With seasonal flu, the death rate is about 10 to 20 times lower than this, and yet we do see many, many deaths. With the current virus, this new coronavirus, the death rate looks to be about 2 point something percent, depending on which population you're looking at. It can be difficult to parse out exactly how dangerous is this relative to that, but it does. The thing that's worrying people is that it does look quite transmissible. It seems to, jumping from person to person and then spreading quickly around the world. I think it's still early to say because we're trying to figure out, well, yes, we're standing around this one number about the case fatality rate being like 2.3%, but it's going to be different in different populations and it's going to be different in different parts of the world. And that depends so much more on the virus and the infrastructure, the health infrastructure in certain countries. I think with that, when WHO put this as an emergency, the wording was very careful. They called it an emergency, especially because of the concern of what would happen if this virus arrived in 7 countries that already have issues around healthcare. So that's where we're most concerned.
What do you think is the likelihood that this COVID-19 outbreak will look like the Spanish flu? Because based on the numbers so far, the mortality rates seem to be about the same.
Yeah, it does. But I think we're 100 years past that, and we now have better capacities to try and develop vaccine, to try and have better communication, get a better handle on these things. So I'm hoping it won't be as devastating as that. And even though we're keeping that communication, I think some people will be following that to try and contain the spread of infection. So hopefully we get a handle on this soon. Of course, you never know. You can't predict exactly how it's going to turn out. And this is what it's like, right? It's gone from China to South Korea, it's gone to Iran, Italy, to Nigeria, to here in the States where I live. Like it has spread really widely. I think it's really hard to predict exactly what dynamics it's going to follow, and that's why we're looking at all the data that's coming out all the time to look at, well, okay, things like deaths, much more towards things like what was existing conditions being treated, that haven't seen much more data come out about this, how just things like children are becoming infected with it. So there's still a lot to be learned at this point. We're still at that really steep learning phase.
Are you doing anything to prepare in case this gets worse? And what advice do you have for people who are going through this situation?
So I do think it's important just to try and stay well. So for example, getting your flu shot, and I think we're so like beyond and over hearing about flu that flu can still spread around this time of year. And the problem is if you get flu, it leaves you much more vulnerable to catching a second respiratory infection, whether bacterial or viral. And also just a good hand hygiene wearing a mask, if you have symptoms of respiratory disease, or if you're caring for somebody who has it. I think, like, in terms of my preparedness, I do think it's worth having 2 weeks of supplies in your home of perishables, making sure they are stocked up on your prescription meds, especially so you don't have to be waiting in line in a place in a health clinic or pharmacy where there's potentially sick people. I do, though, worry much more about healthcare workers because they're much more exposed. And we saw during the 2002-2003 SARS pandemic that it was healthcare workers who were often most exposed, and healthcare institutions were like real epicenters for the outbreak. So yes, I'm watching what officials say, but the public, I really want to put pressure on them to speak about what they're doing to protect the healthcare workers.
The other thing that I've heard experts say about this particular health crisis is that once healthcare workers start to implement it on a large scale, that's when things can get really bad in the hands of the system over time.
Yeah, healthcare systems need to be robust and fragile, and they have the number of healthcare workers who become sick and they don't have a system to keep them alive. You have to deal with everyone else who's getting sick.
The World Health Organization calls once in a while diabetes or heart disease all the regular things that we deal with, and that's why I find it that it's not like in Europe as well, how this virus slowly becomes collected. And that's unfortunately unintended most vulnerable. And many of the things that happen to me doesn't matter to people that are struggling or struggling with countries that can't afford it. And that's very important. We expect people to wake up, especially in these very crisis stages, as well as we can as we need to. Thanks so much, Leora. Really appreciate it.
All right, thanks. Bye. All right, that's the show. Thanks so much for listening. I'm Samara Kendacker, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, good afternoon. I just wanted to show everybody what I have for sale, trying to make some quick cash. I have tons of these hoops for the loops, dangles, and anything that's like Rick Stitch dangles is $35 for me. Anyway, come buy my stuff. Love y'all.
This is for those of you that can't get out and smoke yourselves. Use a loud lamp, sacred smoke, sage, to burn away all negative feelings, negative energy.
Hi, my name is Janae Wynn, and I'm going to be dancing for people who are sick today that are affected by COVID-19. And they're hopefully just dance for the people that are affected by it. And stay safe and stay home.
That was a little bit from the Social Distance Powwow Facebook group, a page which was created to bring together people who would formally be hitting the powwow trail pretty soon. But earlier this month, North America's largest powwow, the Gathering of Nations in Albuquerque, made the difficult decision to cancel the event. Powwow season is a community staple for First Nation people. It's where different nations meet and also where Indigenous vendors make a large chunk of their annual income. Dan Simons, the founder of Wampum Wear, usually heads out on the road to sell his jewelry and art at powwows. But because events are being canceled, he decided to launch a digital powwow, which he's calling the Social Distance Powwow. He joins me from Montana. Hello.
Hello.
Recently, the Gathering of Nations canceled their annual general gathering, as I mentioned. As a vendor, powwows are where you sell your jewelry and art. So how did it make you feel to find out that powwow was canceled?
So for me personally, I've had a different experience with this. This is all felt like a dream. Hopefully I think I'm waking up something because it's kind of amazing that this is all of our reality right now. Not just one person is experiencing this, everyone is around the world, and a lot of vendors, I don't want to just keep myself, many vendors rely on how income for a living, just like myself. Just in the 2 months of the spring, a lot of vendors lost between $10,000 and $30,000 to $40,000, $50,000. I'm speaking in general, just like a bracket there, that income that we're losing. And I was really depressed about this because I try to provide for my family. other vendors, and there's not really a platform for all of us to sell our wares, and not just vendors, but singers that are affected by this, dancers that are affected by this. There was not really a platform for us to share our voice. So I'm going away, and it's taken off, and it's pretty amazing. The support and love, all the support and love outweighs anything that's negative.
Absolutely. So for vendors like you, how much can people make on the powwow trail typically?
I don't want to speak for myself, but most vendors bracket would be anywhere from 25, 30,000 up to 100 to 150,000. It just depends on what you're selling.
And so how do people participate in the social distancing powwow?
So we are on a group page on Facebook right now. Again, it's just a week old, so things are transforming as I'm talking. We're trying to focus on live feeds. There's a lot of people that are sending pictures in. We all are kind of used to Facebook and getting those likes and comments. But for us in the group, this isn't what it's about. It's not about the likes and comments. It's about people having a platform and all being heard. And one thing I've learned too with group pages on Facebook, with people trapped in their houses right now, there's a lot of negativity, and this world has a lot of negativity, so it's coming out at us. And I know people don't mean it directly at us. It's just what happens with humans. That's what we are, what we do. A lot of times we attack ourselves. And this is the time to kind of sit back and reflect on, how did we end up in this space that we're in right now.
Mm-hmm. So Dan, how does the Facebook group work exactly?
Okay, so anyone that's on Facebook can join the group. We're reaching about 70,000 people on there. Right now, this past weekend we had our first powwow online. It was kind of a test. Once you're on there, everything's up there on the group. It's been really positive, and I hope it continues in a positive way. And I'm thankful that I have helped so many people. There's so many people stuck in their homes, and this has been an outlet for them to not feel like they're in that space, and to connect with others and all the people that it's brought together. It's been kind of magic. I wanted this to be a platform where we are, this week we're featuring storytelling. So there's some people sending in videos just upon their stories, their traditions, from their own tribes.
So you had said earlier that you've received a lot of love and support, but also criticism. What kinds of love and support have you received from community, and how has the turnout been?
I'll read you one that I just sent to my other founders today. This is from a Shinnecock tribal member. I'll give him one name, but he says, "Thank you, fam. My mom is able to get that medicine from your page. She's an 84-year-old elder, and she loves what she created." So getting those messages, as like I said, is definitely outweighed the negative things we received on this.
So is this something that you're planning to continue?
This is in its infancy, so this is a platform we want to keep and create. We're kind of still deciding what route to take. This is definitely, the world right now, we don't know what's going to happen with this virus. This is definitely going to continue as long as this virus continues, and then from there, we're going to just see what happens. As one of my elders, I'm from the Sequoia tribe in Connecticut myself. So one of my elders, Tolo, I just want to give him a shout out. He always told me, we can't plan for tomorrow. You never know what to expect for tomorrow. So I can't plan. Just kind of see what creator guys can do.
So during the pandemic, Indigenous people are gathering together, getting creative with how they do it over the internet. Is this something that you've been seeing a lot of in the United States?
Well, after this platform launched, I've been seeing people all over the world, a lot of Canadians as well, and the States. So it's been quite the outpour. I mean, just in an hour, we get 100 posts, people wanting to post, If you look online, anything, you'll see a social distance powwow is now a movement. And I didn't expect this to become a movement. I've had other groups online. This is the first one that went viral. It's just, again, all kind of crazy.
Well, it certainly speaks to a need, right? As Indigenous people, we have to gather and be loving with each other. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Dan.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was a pleasure to be here, and I hope it continues in a positive way. That was the point of all this, just to kind of spread light, love, and positivity with everything that's going on.
That was Dan Simons. He launched the Social Distance Powwow, which is a digital powwow for people to share videos of them dancing. And vendors can share videos of the goods they're selling.
is Tim Fontaine, and I'm the founder and editor-in-chief of Walking Eagle News. Walking Eagle News is a satirical website that parodies Indigenous news. I think satire is very important, especially right now. And a big part of satire is humor and laughter, and we can all use more of that in this really crazy and scary time that we're in now. And actually, it's this pandemic and the lockdown that we're all in that inspired me to write one of my latest articles. I noticed that all of these artists and craftspeople were posting photos of really beautiful beadwork on Instagram, and it made me think, well, what happens when we run out of traditional things to bead? So now I'm going to read that article for you. This is Anishinaabe woman in self-isolation beads entire apartment. An Anishinaabe woman who was in self-isolation because of the global COVID-19 pandemic has beaded her entire apartment. I started beading some moccasins 7 days ago and finished those, so I moved on to some medallions, and then I finished all of those, so I started beading my furniture, said Sadie LaRaw from her Regina, Saskatchewan apartment. Next thing, my whole apartment was beaded. Everything from blankets to cutlery and plates, and even the walls and ceiling are now covered in stunning beadwork, photos revealed. LaRaw said she only realized how much beading she had done when she started beading a coat for her cat and ran out of red beads. This is Tim Fontaine, editor-in-chief of the satirical site Walking Eagle News, and I'm talking to you while isolated in my living room. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Tim. You're so wise indeed. This is Unreserved on CBC Radio 1, Sirius XM 169, and Native Voice 1. I'm Rosanna Deerchild. On the show today, we're talking all about how people are finding creative ways to stay connected while keeping their distance.
So it's so cool to be able to virtually meet you and bead with you for an hour today. And thank you so much for joining me. I really am glad we get to hang out this way.
That was Amber Sandy beading alongside fellow artist Jamie Gentry in a live beading event on Instagram. Amber launched a series of virtual beading events after the outbreak of COVID-19 began and social distancing was encouraged. She joins me from her home in Toronto. Hi, Amber.
Hi.
So where did the idea to host a live beading event on Instagram come from?
It came from the want to still be around other people and other artists while being stuck at home and doing my part to socially distance. And just to create a space for other people to join in and ask questions and provide something for us all to do on evenings while we're sitting at home.
Can you describe how the event works?
I host the event from my own Instagram, and I invite the guest artists to present with me. So it's the two of us, both beading on video, and the two of us chatting. And other people are welcome to join in on the video to watch us or to listen. And they can also ask questions by typing it out, and we can see the questions that people ask.
And what kinds of questions are people asking you?
People are asking us a variety of questions, from what types of materials we use. Some people have been asking about different thread types, what types of thread we like using for different types of beading, all of that stuff.
And do you cover how to not get wounded in the fingertips?
We should cover more of that, but I'm constantly stabbing my own fingertips with my needles.
First aid for the fingertips. A little tip for you in future beading exercises.
Yeah.
I could use some Instagram beading, so I'm telling you right now. So what has the response been so far?
It's been really lovely. The first one, it was unexpected the amount of people that ended up joining in. I think our first one we had 120 people come by while it was live, and then we had even more people watch it after it was recorded. So for 24 hours, you can see it on my story after it's recorded. And it was just so nice to have that conversation with some artists that live really far away from me, that I, even outside of social distancing, don't get to spend a lot of time with.
And why are you turning to beading at this time? Do you find it relaxing or calming?
I find it relaxing and calming, and it's something that I can just focus on, and it's a great outlet for sort of the energy that I have at this time, but also because it's always been something that's brought community together for me. When I first started beading in Toronto, I definitely met other artists who live here and was able to take workshops. And even through Instagram, I have a really large group of artists that every day I log on and I get to see what they're working on. And to me, it helps to foster that sense of community that I feel like we all need in this time.
In your Instagram post announcing the event, you wrote, "Let's all try to create virtual spaces to uplift one another and pass the time being socially distant." Why do you think that this is important right now?
I think it's important, especially for artists, because a lot of artists don't have, full-time jobs where they're getting paid to be able to work at home. And I'm fortunate enough to have a job where I get to work at home. So for me, part of it is sharing their art and sharing what they do. So hopefully making more people aware of what they have available, but also just bringing each other together and celebrating our work and the amazing things that we do for each other in community, especially during this time. I feel like it's really important to just be there for each other and to take care of each other. We're all dealing with feeling isolated and dealing with different effects on our own mental health that come with being stuck inside. And I think talking with each other and sharing and laughing especially really helps me to feel a lot better about this situation.
You originally launched this as a 4-part series. Are you planning to keep it going?
I'm going to try to keep it going as long as we're all isolated, because it's a great outlet for me and people seem to really enjoy it. So I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Oh, I love it. So how can people join in with you to be?
So artists can reach out to me if they want to join me on the video feed. And anybody can come and watch the event. They just have to log into Instagram and then click on my Instagram live video while it's happening. And they can come and watch and hang out and ask questions.
And what is your Instagram handle?
It's at AMB Sandy, SANDY.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Amber Sandy is a Anishinaabe leader, and she's launched a live broadcasting event on Instagram. She lives in Toronto. Her Instagram handle is @AmSandy. That's AMBSANDY. That's it for this week's episode of Unreserved. We'll be back in this radio space next week for more community, culture, and conversation. This episode was produced by Kyle Muzika, Stephanie Crown, Zoe Tennant, and Anna Lazowski. Thank you for listening to Unreserved on CBC Radio 1. Have a safe.